All right, guys, welcome to another video from Blade Show 2022. Today we have Tim Reeve of Chris Reeve Knives here with us today. So we're gonna get to know each other a little bit better.
Yeah.
And you guys get to come along for that. So Tim, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you coming in.
Oh, thanks
I know
for
you guys
having
are
me.
busy.
Yeah.
Saturday's really busy.
Yeah, I mean, Friday was nuts. There was no moment to think about anything. I was ringing up people like you couldn't believe. We had like 3 cash registers going, or tills going. I was ringing people up on my phone. I probably rung up 100 people yesterday just myself.
Just on your phone?
Oh, yeah, just on my phone.
That's iconic.
So, no, it's been great. It's always very humbling coming to the shows and having this kind of response. And, and having, folks like you want me to sit down and talk about knives, I just try and stay in my lane.
You're humble, but we find you very interesting, and we want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, sure, man. I'm the talking head of the company, so
well, they're lucky for that.
Yeah.
So Tim, hopping right into this.
Yeah.
I think people have a weird misconception that everyone here, all the retailers and manufacturers, are all kind of like in their own little lane, and they don't really interact with each other.
Sure.
And that's obviously not the case.
No.
In a lot of ways.
No. Yeah.
So what has been your favorite thing outside of the stuff that you guys brought that you saw this week?
Yeah, look, right now I'm carrying a Koenig knife. They're dear to our hearts. They're good friends of ours. Yeah, Bill was like, hey, I know you hate flippers, which is not true. I don't actually hate flippers, and I love his the most. But they treated me with that, so I've been carrying that. That's actually what I've been carrying in my pocket.
I noticed that.
It's not hard to grab a Sebenza around my booth, so if I need one, I can always pick one up.
For reference.
Yeah, so I've loved this. These guys do such great work. I mean, I always joke with Bill. We give each other a bunch of shit all the time. I'm like, you make a better quality knife than I do. And I go, but I think I make more money with mine than you do. He goes, yeah, that's true. But they put a lot of heart and soul in their knives, and they're always trying to up the ante. Bill and I are always talking about like kind of what's the next thing that we can do. But he was telling me last night at dinner about Shirogorov is always up in the ante and really doing some creative stuff. Pivot mechanisms. Vartan was showing me their new little clip mechanism. Stuff like that. I'm like, to me, I'm holding like an alien knife. Like, how does this thing open?
Oh yeah.
But it's cool. I love seeing that kind of stuff because I'm a big kind of geek for mechanisms and engineering stuff. So it doesn't really matter what it is, guns, knives, whatever.
Yes.
So I don't know. Those are the things that are kind of I've been seeing that's tickling my fancy. I love seeing some of the old knives too. We got a lot of history and lineage with some of the older makers or collectors and stuff, so I do love some of the shiny things, with ivory and all the old woods and things. So I don't know, it's hard for me to pinpoint stuff like that, but Blade Show is fun because you just see every things you never even could think of in a knife, and they show up. Levon from I'll tell you one knife that I was really impressed with. Levon showed me he's from the Knife Nuts podcast.
Oh yeah.
There's this Cybertruck looking knife.
I saw that.
Which is just wild, and I wish you would have brought the box because apparently it's like in a metal box that's like screwed together and stuff. Oh, it just looks so great.
Is that the one with no hardware?
Yeah, and it's all I would love to have had the time to take it apart, but we're having beers in the pit.
Well, I asked him to take it apart last night, and he was like, "I've never done it."
Yeah,
so
good luck.
I don't want to do it in the dark in the pit on a table.
No, exactly. But I love like concept. Him and I both have like an appreciation for concept knives. Just wacky things that are different. So I love seeing that. I'm kind of a traditionalist myself in many things. Like I'm a plain bagel with plain cream cheese toasted kind of guy.
Yeah, smart.
So I carry like a plain Sebenza, but I love seeing things are a little bit more out there. So
did you see the knife that Levon had that looked like a batarang,
like
the blade?
That was ridiculous.
Three recurves.
Oh yeah, there's like 6 or 8 bevels on the thing. I was like, I wouldn't even know where to start with this, making something like that. So
I wouldn't want to use it because I wouldn't want to sharpen it.
No, yeah, he was putting a whole pile of different knives in my hand. I was like, oh wow, crazy. So.
Yeah, he has a lot of good stuff, and he's a wealth of knowledge.
Oh yeah, and just a great guy.
And you can geek out with him about pretty much anything. He's into watches, he's into knives, he's into all that stuff. Cars.
Best bear hugs in the industry. I mean, Mark Begg might be like close, but
maybe next year we'll do the Blade HQ bear hug competition.
Yeah, because Mote's pretty close too. Skinny guys like us like big old bear hugs.
They were like, bring it in.
Yeah, exactly. So
absolutely.
It shows out like the great people in the industry.
Oh yeah.
This like showing up to Blade Show is always like, like seeing the family, the part of the family you love.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's always kind of fun coming back. Like when we got in Wednesday, and it's like Wednesday and Thursday it was just handshakes and hugs and catching
cool.
up. So
that's really cool. Kind of a little calm before the storm a bit.
Yeah. So we're just getting off on Saturday today, and it seems to be great. Everybody's here, and
it's a good crowd today. I think you're gonna. I like Saturdays because it's a lot more the people that couldn't take 4 days off from work.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's maybe people who just drove in for the day. They just want to see stuff. You know, so I really enjoy the crowd on Saturday. A little bit less intense than Friday morning.
Yeah, and what I love about Blade Show too is there's always a handful of people that I'll meet that come to our booth that have never heard of us or maybe have heard of us and have never handled a knife, and that's some of my favorite moments. You know, you just kind of get to start from scratch and just meet new people. So yesterday got the chance to have so many like very kind of like personal and intimate connections with a lot of different people.
That's cool.
I mean, it's fun to just spend a weekend. You know, it's a big shot in the arm. Like just a lot of people telling you how much they love what you do, and it's like, well, cool, man. We're just trying to keep doing it.
A lot of that, and then a lot of I like hearing people go up to different booths, and like we were talking to I don't know if you're aware of American Blade Works.
Yeah, okay.
And there was a gentleman who was like, "Hey, I've had every iteration of your knife." And Michael was like, "Wow, that's really cool." And he's like, "Well, this is what I would change." And then Michael took out his notebook and he started writing down what he was talking about. So it's cool. Yeah. It's cool just to see people
feedback.
taking that.
Yeah, you take some notes, and there's some things you can do, some things you can't do, but it's always nice to like keep the gears going.
Oh yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
That's what we're trying to do. I'm not like we're not making knives for ourselves.
Yes.
You know, there's things that I like in a knife I'm going to kind of stick to, and there's things I don't like in a knife that I'll stay away from. But so, you know, it's us making our knives, but at the end of the day, I'm not making knives to put in my own pocket.
Sure.
I want them to go into other people's pockets and actually get some good use out of them.
And of course, you guys make knives with pride that you love to carry.
Sure.
But I get what you're saying. You know, it's for the end user at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
This keeps the lights on, so you know, you better start with that. But you know.
You can only buy so many of your own knives.
exactly.
At a steep discount. So, Tim, this is one of my favorite questions to ask people. Yeah. If you weren't making knives, what would you be doing right now?
Yeah, that. On one hand, I don't know. Recently, it dawned on me that what I'm doing right now in the company and my involvement is probably the most meaningful thing that I could possibly be doing with my life.
Yeah.
But say you took it all out of the question. I was talking to my wife about this, I think last year, and I said, look, though I hate, you know, it's not that I hate the government, but I got my reservations. I'd probably go sign up and be like a game ranger or something like that, yes. or what do they call them, like conservation officer or something like that. Like if I could spend all day in a pickup on a dirt road, you know, with the gun behind the seat or something like that.
Hell yeah.
Just windows down with the music on.
Fishing wildlife, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
To do that.
I was hoping you'd say something like that. Following your Instagram, I kind of get that vibe from you.
Yeah, you know, I live out in the sticks. I'm about an hour out of Boise, and I drive. It's 40 miles to work every day. It's about an hour, and 30 miles is dirt.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
And the reduced cell service out there,
I love
which is good for the mental.
Yeah. It only takes 10 minutes, and I can't, you know, text or call or anything like that.
Fantastic.
So it's podcasts and music or whatever. So.
You're going offline.
Oh, yeah. It's great. You know, sometimes we can just jump out of I just bought a new rifle on Tuesday before we headed out, and, like, we're driving home. Me and the wife jumped out and blinked a couple shots and then jumped back in the truck and kept going. So, you know, it's like I'm very thankful for that. You know, actually, she's been texting me photos and videos of a little 3-year-old black bear that's been eating up our trash cans and the local dumpsters and stuff. So I just keep going, shoot it. You know? so it keeps us on our toes for sure. But, you know, I love wildlife. I love having around.
Yeah.
And, you know, we just finished up our turkey hunting season and had a blast. I finally filled 2 tags, and those things keep you on your toes. And
yeah, they do.
You know, we just brought out a couple knives this year that kind of are much more in that world. So it's fun to actually, like, use your own knives for, not that, I mean, any of our knives you could use, but, you know, things are really dialed into that hunting, fishing, outdoor world. So
those 2 new releases, the fixed blades.
Yeah.
How long have those been in development for you guys?
I mean, on one hand, you could look at it at like 30, 35 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, we actually pulled out Chris's first bird and fish knife, like #1.
Okay.
And my mom was saying that she saw that knife when she first met him.
Whoa.
And they're thinking about that's about 40 years ago. So,
Wow.
and it's not too far off from like this design here. So he was definitely onto something. But we've had a couple different iterations. The Inyoni we made, which is the smaller kind of bird and fish knife.
Yeah.
We did have a production version of that probably 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
So we kind of kept the same general pattern, but put a bigger handle on it, just a couple refinements.
Yeah.
Newer blade steels, things like that. And then the backpacker, we found some old photos probably 30, 35 years ago of first iterations, with like brass pins and all that kind of
Heck
thing.
yes.
But Chris revamped that in 2014, and we've been trying to bring it out ever since. It's just we're always stuck in a rock and a hard place between like the demand and making the knives that we're already making, and then bringing out new things. So I've been describing it as like, it's when you bring out a new product at Chris Reeve Knives, it's like shifting gears without putting the clutch in. You just okay,
You're gonna grind,
and so
you're gonna grind for a while.
Yeah, it just is what it is. So, but it's fun, man. It's fun to do that.
So this is one of our crucial rec report questions. If you could only have 3 knives for the rest of your life, and I'm talking for turkey hunting, for cooking in the kitchen, for opening up mail at work, every task that you need to do with a cutting instrument, what would you end up doing?
I mean,
that's a tough question.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the first one's easy for me because I just don't know how to carry anything else really. It's just like a large Sebenza plane.
Okay.
That's just to me, like growing up seeing one in my dad's pocket always. It's like, to me, that's the like. And when I finally like started carrying a large, I moved from small to a large just, only a handful of years ago. It's like that's becoming a man. That's what, like, you're now a man. You have your large Sebenza in your pocket, right? I mean, and I use mine for everything. Scraping battery terminals. I can't tell you how many times I've used it for a screwdriver, or pried something open or whatever. I do a lot of the destruction tests for us because they know I'll do some stupid bullshit with my knife.
Yes.
So so that would be that. And then I just try and find a good kitchen knife. Like I have an old knife that Devin Thomas had made for my dad.
Wow,
that's beautiful, cool. ABL. I think it's bloodwood and a nice like Gabon ebony handle. Very traditional.
Yeah.
Real thin. So I mean that thing's great. You need a good kitchen knife, and then shoot, man. After that, I don't really know. Like maybe a little Swiss Army knife or something like that, or just maybe your best friend, or the best knife you see in the industry. You need something that's pretty that you don't want to take out.
Hey, that's true.
Something put on the mantle.
You need something for weddings.
Yeah, exactly. Or Sunday, when you go to church.
Yeah, a little church knife.
Yeah, so,
fantastic.
I don't know. Maybe that's the best answer I got.
Okay. No, that's a hard question, and that's a hard one to put on someone.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I always laugh like on our Facebook fan page. You'll have adult men asking a bunch of other adult men with photos of their knives, which one do I carry today? Which one matches my outfit?
Exactly.
It just cracks me up. It's such a fun, crazy little collector's world.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. So we were sitting in the pit last night, and it was like 30 dudes drinking beer, and there was 200 knives laid out on the table in front of us, and everyone's just grabbing this, that, and the other. And I was like, to explain this to my fiance would be impossible.
Or somebody outside of this kind of little industry.
Yeah. Your wife is a lot more involved, obviously, so she might understand, but like, I can't imagine another industry where this kind of interaction will be going on,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's stamp collectors that do the same thing or something.
Yeah, there probably are.
Because there's, I mean, we were just laughing. One of my guys, Brendan, at the shop, we were talking the other night. He's like, I remember when the Krispy Kreme donuts showed up in Boise, and like people were in tents, like sleeping overnight, and like if you stayed long enough, they just come out and give you a donut, and probably just to get you out of the parking lot or something.
Yeah.
But it's like if people are doing that for donuts, like of course they're going to do it for knives. I mean, in some ways it's very new to us.
Yeah.
Back in the day, which was not that long ago, you didn't have people kind of camping out like they are now. There wasn't quite this fervor.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the internet or just getting bigger or more people or better knives or whatever, but it's really humbling. It's really interesting to see. I don't quite get it because I'm not somebody that'll really camp out for anything outside of just getting out in the woods.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not trying to be around a bunch of people when I go camping.
Exactly.
But
or on concrete.
I'm not trying to knock it at all. It's very humbling when you have guys. It's like, man, I've been out there for 2 days. It's like, wow, man. Well, what can I get you?
Yeah, exactly.
So the industry definitely changes, and that's a good thing. It's got to morph and grow. But I don't think it's changing in a bad way by any means.
Oh yeah. So that kind of leads me into my next question, which is good. Which was, what's the most rewarding part of what you do?
I don't know, making a good product that I'm proud of, and then getting the feedback from people.
Yeah.
You know, like I've been trying to do more Facebook Live interactions. We had one the other day when I was introducing the new knives, and shoot, I was on there for an hour and a half or something. Didn't really expect to do that. Answering questions, getting the feedback from different people, and I walked away from that with just like a big grin on my face that I didn't really expect. And I turned to my wife. I said, "Look, that was probably one of the most rewarding like interactions I've had in a long time. You know, I can't do it all the time. At some point you got to kind of like break away from the internet.
Yeah,
I'm not really good at the internet. She had to take over the company Instagram because I just started picking fights. You know, so when your last name's on the product, some of the things that shouldn't hit home is hard to do.
Yeah, it hits differently. I get it.
You know, but it's the interaction with the customers at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, making a good quality product that gives us a run for our money. Yeah. And then getting into the hands and actually having people, you know, beat it up and use it and tell me what happened with it.
I love seeing that.
Yeah. You know, I have this little rule, like I give a couple knives to certain people and I would say, look, go use it, beat it up, break it in half if you need. Yeah. But you have to tell me what you did and give me some feedback. If you don't, I will never give you another knife again. I've said that's to my best friends.
Yeah, don't put it in an Outback case.
No, exactly. Yeah. You know, like, so we did the Inyoni, little tiny bird and trout knife. We did a bunch of those for the XO Mountain Gear guys. They make awesome backpacks, and they're our neighbors actually in Boise.
Oh, cool.
And old Jake there, he broke the tip off of his like a quarter inch off the tip. There's like they're trying to pry it. They're up in Alaska and shot a deer, and they're trying to. I don't know. I think they're getting cold and lazy or something like that, where they should have just kept cutting. But they were trying to pry the head off the neck.
That's awesome.
Bing, there goes like the tip, and he said it's the rest of it kept cutting for the rest of the weekend. He butchered the rest of the deer with it and everything, and so he brought it back, and he was like kind of nervous. He's like, I don't know where the tip went, but this is what happened. I'm so sorry I broke it. And I busted up laughing. I was like, look, man. This is great. This is what I want. Yeah. This is why I gave you guys of anybody the kind of initial prototype testing thing, because you're hard-hitting hunters that actually fill tags. Like I don't fill tags every year. You know, so I need real feedback. And a couple of those guys did a couple elk with just one of those knives, and so we came up with this. I'm not wearing it today, but we came up. My wife just came up with made a bunch of new shirts, and one of them had this big mule deer on it, and originally it said made in the West or something like that. Oh, yeah. And we're looking at it and I was like, this is the best contribution to the company I've had in a while. I said, no. And it's got a picture of the Inyoni on there. Oh, yeah. And I said, no, it needs to say, it cuts big bucks.
I got that shirt yesterday.
It's great, awesome, man. It's great. So we did, for the first 24 people that bought them yesterday, we did these little orange flags with that logo on it.
That's legit.
So it's just kind of fun. It was like, look, the idea is we got this little tiny, almost delicate looking knife. Yeah. But you can take down big game with it. Obviously you need to know what you're doing, but sure. So that's been really cool. In life. Yeah. So that feedback is really, I guess that's what where the meaningfulness comes. Yeah. It's the full circle type thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. What is either a technique or a steel or a material, just something that you feel is underrated in the knife community right now?
Ultim.
What was that?
Ultim 1000. You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
That's just the first one that comes to mind. It's tough because we kind of been using a lot of the same stuff for a long time. Titanium, micarta, wood. Yeah, I mean, Ultim's just kind of cool and esoteric. It is cool. You either, like you said, you either love it or you hate it. We've been playing with that for a while. And some of our old kitchen knives. Yep. My old man was like, look, I don't put plastic on my knives, but if I do, I'm going to go find the most expensive, highest kind of technical featured stuff. And so Ultim's got a great impact resistance. It's a high heat resistance or a high melting point. Yeah. And it's completely non-porous too. So for the kitchen, it's just a great material. But yeah, our staff has always been absolutely divided on it. And they're like, really? It looks like piss, or it's like, oh, it's this cool 70s amber or something like that. So
I think it's neat. Yeah,
it's fun to work with for the most part, but yeah, I got all sorts of odd blocks and round bar and some that are high polished and some that aren't. And, it's so that's kind of a cool thing. If you don't know what Ultim 1000 is, you can go. It's part of the Peak PEEK family of plastics. Okay, but it's starting to pop up in the industry now, which is pretty cool. It's like we did our thing and we've actually discontinued our kitchen knives for now. I'd like to bring them back out at some point. Okay, but it's cool to see Ultim kind of popping up a little bit. And,
it really is.
Yeah.
things really do feel cyclical. I know that a lot of stuff is like that, but
it's nice when things reemerge in the right way. You know, and everything gets heat, right? You know, there's some people that like don't even like titanium, or like my Carter's getting a bad rap now. It's like, I mean, I get it if you've seen everything in my Carter for a long time, but I don't know. I love woods. Like woods have always been dear to my heart, but I don't know if they're necessarily underrated because a lot of people like wood. Like we've never had a hard time selling knives with wood inlays in it.
No.
You know, it's like 1911 grips in wood. Like everyone's gonna, some guys even say that you shoot tighter groups with wood grips. Like, okay, maybe, you know.
The wood has memory.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, those natural materials are always kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sam, I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No worries.
Do you have anything else you want to say to the people out there?
No, I mean, just, keep it up. Keep having fun with it. You know, that's what we're all here for. I think some people take it all a little too seriously, but you know, have fun and keep enjoying the knives and keep giving, you know, makers feedback or the dealers feedback. And you know, we're really blessed to have not only great customers but great dealer network. You know, probably 90-95% of what we make goes out through the dealers. And you guys have been a great one that supported us for a long time and are great like ambassadors and stewards of the industry. You know, it's like we
appreciate that.
You guys breed positivity and trying to do things like this that kind of stay on the cutting edge of that interaction, you know, with kind of you're our tie sometimes between the end user and our shop.
That's what we go for.
And so I was pleased when you're like, hey man, let's just sit down and have a little bit like long form conversation. And I think we'd kind of talked about that a little bit at SHOT Show.
Yes.
I love doing interviews and stuff, but it's like at SHOT Show I did so many videos just like Magna Cut and Glass Blast, Magna Cut and Glass Blast. It's like,
here's the forever flag.
It's great, you know, it's great, and I'm always there to, that's part of my job, to show off the new stuff, you know, but it's fun to like, for me it's fun to like you know, talk about something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's a lot in this industry.
And the people are what make the industry great.
Yeah, there's a bunch of characters in this industry.
Yeah, there are a ton of characters. If this show was just vending machines with with Chris Reeves and Microtex and MKMs that you just plugged your credit card into, then it wouldn't be half as fun.
No way. Well, we wouldn't get up to as much trouble either.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What would we do in the pit if it was just all vending machines?
And knife makers have been getting up to trouble with this show for 30 years, and I can tell you that.
100%.
You know,
100%.
So we're just in, you know, kind of a new generation of getting in trouble.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the torch has been passed.
Yeah, I think so.
So Tim, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
Guys, I will link all of Chris Reeves' social down in the description. Can I link your social? Is that a public thing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't do much on it. I post a turkey photo from here or there. But
I find it very relaxing.
Yeah, I try not to post knives on there, but I end up. You know, I'm not good at answering questions very quickly on there. But Tim Reeve is just my Instagram handle.
Fantastic.
So you can find me there.
You guys, you'll find that all down in the description. Stick around for some more Blade Show 2022 content. We'll get at you guys in the next video. Thank you.